Hey guys, this is Dinosaur Drawer, and today I want to show you guys how to draw the Stegosaurus Rex, otherwise known as the V-Rex from King Kong. Yep, and this is about what it's going to look like when we're done with the tutorial. And I'm sorry for the background noises that you're hearing probably. That's my dog. So yeah, this is just a sketch, so it's not really cleaned off and stuff. There's still some double lines, and you can still see that this is just a sketch. But the tutorial drawing will be a little bit. I don't think it's going to be this detailed as what I was going for in this particular sketch, but it will be pretty similar. And this drawing was, by the way, not requested by anyone. It's just something that I wanted to do for quite a while, just because I think the V-Rex of the movie King Kong is actually one of the best designs of a T-Rex like dinosaur that I've ever seen in any movie, and actually is really cool. So yeah, let's get into the tutorial. Alright, so what you want to start off with is just drawing his body, and again, be careful to where you're going to place his body, because you don't want any part of his tail or head to be off the page, off the paper. Alright, so we're gonna start with about over here, with a line like this. The V-Rex is very muscular, and his body is really big and muscular. I would almost say that it's bigger than the T-Rex of Jurassic Park. Alright, so this is going to be the base for his back. This will be his back. This will be his shoulder over here. And then his belly. And then over here we will have something like this. And then we're going into his tail. And he does have a very long tail, but it isn't really it doesn't really look as if it's very long, because again, it's very muscular, so it's a very thick tail. And here I'm speaking about knowing where to place your dinosaur on your page, so that none part of it will be off the page. Now I'm having trouble putting my own dinosaur on the page. So yeah, I'm gonna make his tail a little bit shorter than it's actually supposed to be. I'm really sorry for that. I had to pay a little bit more attention. Alright, so this is the base for his body. And now we're going onto his leg. He has a very cool pose in this particular reference image that I'm using. I'm just using reference images from Google Images. That's basically how I do all my tutorials. And then over here will be his foot. Something like this. You can still see it from over here. It's actually on the other side, this claw, but you can still see it from here. And then over here, this isn't right actually, it's supposed to be a little bit more like this, a little bit more round, like this, and then you can make a curve like this, and a big muscle over here. and then a big muscle again over there. Alright, so that's his first leg, and his knee, you could put his knee a little bit more over there, so this looks a little bit better. And now his other foot starts about, well, let's just first refine this part. This part is a little bit too, I need to replace the graphite in my pencil because it's already almost empty, so I'll be back. Alright, and I'm back. Let it focus. Sorry for the hard car noises that you're probably hearing right now. I'm not sure if the camera will catch it, but I'll apologize in advance. So this part is actually supposed to be over here, a little bit closer to his leg, and a little bit smaller than how I actually made it. So this is why you don't press down too hard on your pencil when you're just doing the sketch. So you can just refine it later on and make it better. And actually I can make the tail look a little bit longer this way. So that's what I'm gonna do. And it still looks pretty good when I do it like this. So I'm just going to erase those lines that I don't need anymore, because this is just a sketch again. Alright, so that looks a little bit better. And also I didn't press down too hard on my pencil on this part either. It might look a little bit darker, but that's just because the camera is catching the camera is seeing those very light lines, and it's making them a little darker himself. And when a line that is a little bit darker than the other ones appears, it will automatically look like this is a very dark line. But if I compare it to this drawing, for example, this is the darkest part. It's at least twice as dark as this. Alright, so let's move on. So the other leg goes like this. He is kind of a running, well, kind of an attack pose, I guess. So what you want to do when you're drawing the other leg in is pay attention to where his kind of joints are and stuff. For example, this is his ankle, so that means that the ankle on the other leg is supposed to be about the same height, because it's about the same height from the ground. So that means that his other ankle should be around over there. And this foot is actually standing a little bit differently, away from the camera. So that means that his ankle should be about over there. It's not exactly at the same place, because this foot is a little bit, he's standing a little bit more on his toes on this foot, so that means that his ankle will be a little bit higher. And also this leg will be a little bit thinner because his muscles are a little bit more stretched out. So you need to pay attention to that as well. Alright, so now we have the basics of this part on the page. Now we should pay attention to where his arm is going to be and his shoulder. So his shoulder is a little bit, he has very big muscles, and those muscles are very large in his shoulder as well. So this kind of goes like this, and this is actually the part where his arm is actually starting, and then you might want to draw in the other side of his arm, and a little bit of the muscle of his shoulder again, and then it goes kind of like this, and then kind of like this. So his hands are actually facing inwards. And then on the other side you want to draw something that's about the same but not exactly the same. So you don't see, for example, this part. That's because it's behind the rest of his body. So this is where his elbow will be, and that's where you're going to draw it from. So just almost a straight line, then kind of replicate this part a little bit. But this is going to be a little bit harder because this one will be kind of behind the other one, and yeah, you just have to get it just right. But don't worry too much, because this part is going to be very dark, so you won't really see too much of it if you mess it up a little bit. So don't try to erase everything too many times, because otherwise you will be able to see it. If you're gonna put if you wanna make this part darker, then the paper will be damaged and it will look not very good. Alright, refine the shape of his belly. His back. So yeah, this, I just think that this particular dinosaur has a really good design. So that's why I wanted to use it in a tutorial video. Alright. So now we want to move on to his neck. So when you're drawing a dinosaur, and especially when you're drawing it in a pose that you aren't used to drawing your dinosaurs in, just pay attention to how high does his head actually is, and how long does his neck is actually. How long is his neck actually? So you want to have the right angle. Just a second, because I see I smeared a little bit over here. It's just a little bit of a shame. Right. So you want to have the right angle to draw his neck in, and his neck goes kind of like this, but it actually, his head is a little bit above his hip on this pose. So just draw in his neck until you are at about the same height as the hip, and then draw a little bit of a curve like this. And he has a very large head, so also you also have to pay attention to that. And I think it will fit. Yeah, I think it will pretty much fit on my page. But be sure to, if you're drawing along, make sure to not make it too large on your paper. I made it a little bit too big. Well, it might look very good when it's done, but I made it a little bit too big. So yeah, how you want to draw this is actually, first you want to draw the lower part of his neck, which goes kind of like this. It kind of starts over here. So this part is actually where you're gonna measure it. Go a little bit back and then start drawing in his neck, and his neck ends at about over here. So that means that his head is this big. It's really large. Alright, then you want to start drawing in the lines for where his head will be kind of be attached to the neck. This is going to be his lower jaw, and then you want to draw the basic shape and the angle of which the nose is actually pointing at. So the nose is actually pointing at going over here, so just kind of draw that in. Then you have to draw something like this, and then it goes kind of like this. Then his nose is very strange. It's kind of like this, and then he has something like an iris over there. So that's his bottom jaw. Now let's move on to his that's his upper jaw. Let's move on to his lower jaw now. Alright, so his lower jaw starts about over here. I made it a little bit too large, I guess. I think it's a little bit too big, but we will take a look at it when the lower jaw is actually placed in it. Alright, so you want to start over here and make a line like this, and then make it go like this. So this is actually a huge muscle, and then you go to his lower jaw. Alright. And this is a really hard part, actually. So I actually have to concentrate a little bit on doing it right, because I don't want to do it wrong. Alright, that looks about right, I guess. And then you can attach the rest of his neck to it. So I guess I made it a little bit too large, but yeah, I think it will be okay. Or maybe not. Well, we'll just have to see. Alright, so now we're gonna refine his jaw. Well, actually I'm gonna make it a little bit smaller, because I do have some people that complain that my drawings aren't accurate, so we want to get it as accurate as we can get, and I don't want to make the same mistake of making the head look too big twice. Alright, let's make it a little bit smaller. So we want to pay attention to how large his head is, and his head is a little bit longer, well, actually about as long as the neck. So it's about this long, a little bit smaller, not too much, but a little bit. Alright, I just got a call, so but I'm back now. Okay, so his iris goes like this, and then he has a very large kind of skull goes kind of like this. Then it goes kind of like this, and then we're just going to draw it like this. And it goes kind of like this. Very large lower jaw he has, and then his lower jaw goes like this. So this looks a little bit better, in my opinion. Alright, now we want to make this accurate, so this goes like this, and then it attaches to the lower jaw over there. We have a bump over here, it goes like this, down, and then up again. And don't draw in his skull too too dark, because we need to draw in the teeth, and the teeth go kind of like the Indominus Rex. And I'm not sure how long I can still record, because I still have that problem that my camera stops recording sometimes. So it's really, I really have to pay attention to that. Okay, so this is about accurate, I would say. This goes kind of like this. Then we have a bump over there. Then we have his iris, which goes all the way until over there. Well, it's not his iris anymore over here, but he has a ridge. And his nose will be over there. You can draw on his nose very dark, because we don't need to do too much about his nose anymore later on. And then we have to locate where his eye will be. His eye will be about over here. I would say over here, yeah. His eye is very high on his skull compared to most dinosaurs. Alright, and we might have to make this video 3 parts, because this will be, I think it will be a pretty detailed drawing, and it's also a very large drawing, so. But I'll have to stop the video over here, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching it and maybe draw it along. I would love to see some of you trying to recreate my tutorial drawings and stuff. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next part. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, and comment below what you think about the video. So this was Dinosaur Drawer, and goodbye.